Hello everyone, Chancey here. You guys are probably wondering why I am not showing my face and why the black screen. That is for a very specific reason. See, when you guys on the internet see a black screen, you think that somebody is hiding something. But when you look at it from an outsider's perspective, like somebody of my mindset, you see endless possibility. You see a void of darkness, the unknown. And while looking at a black screen, you see nothing. Now, a lot of people might see trolling as the same thing in a very similar manner. People might see endless possibilities for trolling. But trolling in itself is not a good thing. Trolling in itself is a sickness. It is a digital virus that is spread far beyond what the internet can provide and stop. This virus has not only spread throughout all of the internet and made many people sick, because trolling is a sickness. It is a virus. It is a pandemic, and many people are sick because one person decided to bully someone many years ago, and that sickness has now spread to many people all over the world all these years later. Very much like the T virus from Resident Evil. One person gets bit, and then that cycle then continues. And then that zombie then bites someone else, and that person then got bit and then bit someone else, and then it evolved into what it was, which we now know as the Resident Evil universe. It's the exact same thing. One person became a troll and decided to bully somebody. Then that person that got bullied then decided to take their anger out on somebody else. And then it started a very vicious cycle, which we know now as trolling. Now, over the last few days, I've been doing a lot of studying, a lot of reflecting, a lot of research, and a lot of taking a look at myself as a person, as a whole. And for a time, I was infected. I was infected with the trolling virus, so to speak. I was infected with it in the sense that by reacting to it, I was unknowingly spreading that virus, allowing more people to come in, just like you would with a zombie virus, like the T virus, going back to the Resident Evil thing. They're both very much one and the same. Because in the Resident Evil world, when you make noise, you attract zombies. With me, when I reacted and I made noise, I attracted more trolls. They are one and the same. The internet is plagued with a very evil virus known as the trolling virus. It is a mental sickness that people don't realize they even have, and if they do realize they have it, for some it's unfortunately too late, because they enjoy trolling so much that it becomes a part of their daily life. Some people who are just now falling into that they still have that chance to get away from that and, in a sense, heal themselves to where they do not become a part of that. And some people start out, like, for a very good prime example, take somebody like Blame Katie, who used to not be a troll, but used to bring down trolls herself. But along the way, she got bit by this trolling virus and is now unknowingly a troll herself. And the only way to cure that is to stop the trolling. Stop attacking people that do not deserve it. People like myself who are simply trying to live our lives in peace. We do not deserve to be bitten or gone after. Because people like myself are simply just trying to make an honest living doing what we truthfully enjoy. We are not out here causing problems for other people. We are not trying to cause problems for other people. Now, I know the other day when I was on her panel, and a lot of people might say, like, oh, well, you got on there, you reacted. No, I was protecting a friend from being attacked. Just as that friend would do me, and has done for me, multiple times, many times over. Because I did not want to see my friend have to deal with that same illness, that same ill will, that same virus, if you will, that I have had to deal with for the last 8 years. For the last 8 years, I have been sick. Both physically and mentally, I have been sick. And I say mentally because by reacting to it, I was mentally giving myself to that virus, to that sickness. I was allowing myself to be engulfed in that toxic environment energy. And it got so bad that mental sickness of reacting eventually became physical, to where I was depressed every day. I was not moving. I was not eating. I was essentially dying. I was on the brink of death 3 separate times. Twice by my own hands, and once by being so depressed that I was barely moving, and I was barely eating and barely doing anything, to the point where I ended up in the hospital and was forced to stay in the hospital for over a month and a half just to get well. And it was not fun. It was very destructive. I was destroying myself. And the one thing that I've learned about these trolls, or as I like to call them, internet zombies, if you will, the way that I see them is like this. They're so depressed with their own lives and so focused on what other people are doing that they are not focusing on their own life. They're not focusing on what they can do to change themselves, what they can do to not be toxic. These people are very, very sick, and we need to treat them as such. Now, did some of the trolls bring that sickness on themselves? Yes. Some of them have contributed and have brought that illness on themselves. But what those of you that are sick, what you can do about that sickness is to stop trolling. Stop attacking people. Focus on yourself. Focus on your own lives. Focus on what you can do to better your life. Instead of focusing on, like attacking my life or attacking this other person's life. Because when you attack other people the way that you guys have done myself and other people, you're spreading more hatred. Hatred breeds hatred. Darkness breeds hatred. Darkness consumes light. Just like a black hole. A black hole consumes light. It consumes it in a way, hence, of which it cannot escape. And this virus is a form of digital darkness. It consumes everything good. It consumes everything light. It consumes everything happy. And by you guys feeding into it, you are ultimately feeding in to that darkness and making that black hole worse. By calling names, by attacking, you're unknowingly and unconsciously and consciously feeding that sickness, feeding that black hole, feeding that darkness. Instead of focusing on stuff that can make you happy, like being creative, doing something joyful, going outside, playing with your children, spending time with your families, taking your dog for a walk, going on a trip around the world, going to see that place that you've always wanted to see in your entire life, going to see that one country or that one landmark that you've always wanted to see in your entire life. Instead of focusing on making that happen, you're focusing on the sickness. And when you focus on the sickness, you make yourself sicker. And the only cure for that sickness is to stop the trolling. Because when you feed into the trolling, you are spreading that sickness and making things worse for yourself in the long run. You're making other people's lives miserable and potentially worse than what it already is. And ultimately, you're killing what little bit of life, what little bit of light is left on the internet, because there's not very much light left, because trolling has become such a prominent thing that it's almost celebrated. And trolling should not be celebrated. Trolling should be frowned upon. Trolling should not be celebrated. Trolling should be looked down on. It should be frowned upon. It should not be allowed to be happening. And for those of you that do not speak up against this sickness, you yourself are contributing to that sickness and don't even realize it. Whether you speak about it in private or you speak about it publicly. If you are speaking about it, you are spreading awareness about this sickness and are allowing that person to decide whether they want to become part of that sickness or if they want that sickness to stop and fade away. Me, I choose to fight the virus and try to make it fade away. I fight it by not reacting. I fight it by speaking about it and allowing others to decide for themselves whether they want to contribute to that sickness and that illness, or whether they want to join the good fight and spread awareness and allow people to be like, hey, we need to do something about this. We need to spread more light. We need to spread more good. We need to destroy the darkness. Now, yes, within that sickness, some of us, like myself, do learn a lot about ourselves. We learn what we can handle, what we can take, and what we are ultimately capable of doing. Me, I learned a lot about myself. I truthfully learned a lot about myself over the last 8 years of being stuck in this darkness and feeding into that sickness. And yes, ultimately, I became sick myself. But, unfortunately, like some, I did succumb to that sickness so badly that I ended up in the hospital. But, unlike some, once I got out, and I slowly started to realize that I don't need to be around this sickness, that I need to avoid it, I ultimately, mentally and physically freed myself from that virus when I realized that I did not need to be within that sickness, that I could do something about it, and I separated myself from it by acknowledging it but not reacting to it. I allowed myself to be free from that sickness. And the only way to cure this sickness is to kill it off entirely. And the best way to kill it off is to stop doing it. Stop trolling. That is the only way that we will cure this sickness. That is the only way that we will be able to do anything. Now, I understand that some channels, they thrive off of drama. And drama can contribute to that. It can be a contributor to that. Very much so. But by acknowledging it and frowning upon it and not reacting to it in a negative manner, but by acknowledging it and saying like, hey, you need to stop being a troll, or you need to stop doing this to said person, you are contributing to the healing of this virus. You are contributing to the solution that needs to be done to this sickness. And to those of you that are sick, such as William Gloryhole, N-Word Boy, Blame Katie, and all these other people that are sick, that are very much sick, the best way you can get better and to heal yourself is to stop trolling. Stop attacking people. Because by attacking people, you ultimately become a slave to that sickness. You become a slave to that digital virus. And when you become a slave to that digital virus, it can become very, very, very hard to escape and heal from. Now, is it possible to heal yourself from that sickness? Yes. If you become sick, is it possible to heal yourself from that sickness? Yes. And for some like myself, it's a longer road than what we would like to admit. But I myself am healed from that sickness. And now that I have looked at it with an outsider's point of view, I see just how sick some people are. And honestly, for William Glory Hole, for N-Word Boy, for Blame Katie, I do hope that one day you are able to get better and you are able to stop trolling. I do hope that one day you are able to heal yourselves and do better for yourselves. And I hope that one day you are able to move on from that sickness. But as I said, you can choose to either be drowned by the sickness and allow yourself to stay within that void of self-hatred, self-loathing, and attacking other people. Or you can get up and you can do something about it, and you can stop that sickness that is within you by extinguishing the trolling. You can extinguish the sickness by stopping trolling. That is the only way that you will stop this virus from spreading, this pandemic from continuing. Because we already have enough evil in this world. We already have enough bad stuff going on in this world. We do not need a virus, a sickness taking over. And by being a troll, you are allowing that sickness to spread. So my question to you is this. Are you going to stop that black hole from sucking up the light? Or are you going to continue to allow that dark abyss to continue to suck you in, and to suck others in, and to spread even more darkness and evil? Are you going to allow more people to become sick? Or are you going to try to be part of the cure? It's your call. But if you ask me, I'm on the side of the cure. And I always will be until my dying breath. And I will continue to help those that I can, as much as I can. But as for the digital zombies, such as William Glory Hole and N-Word Boy, yes, I acknowledge that you are sick, and I do hope that you get better. But I will not react to your sickness. I will acknowledge it, but I will not react to it. And I will not give in. So to those that are sick, I hope that you get well, and I hope that one day you find the error of your ways and that you are able to fix it. As for me, I will continue to help those when and where and however I can. Hashtag destroy the sickness.